switch gears now. We've talked a lot about corn here the past few weeks, and as you can kind of see in the background, we're definitely in that pollination phase. And if you kind of look real close and on my hat, you can see all the pollen shed. I've been walking cornfields the last few days, so I'm getting a little tired of walking cornfields. So I wanted to quick talk about a little bit of soybeans and kind of show you where we're at right now. So you can kind of see we're kind of at the start of the R3 stage, end of the R2 stage on a lot of these beans. We still got some flowering going on, but we have some pods starting to form on these lower plants here. So as you can kind of see, this plant here is potted out really nice. And the reason why this one is kind of bushy, this is at our 75,000 plants per acre block here in our plot here. And this is actually the same number at a higher population, closer to 150,000. So you can see we got some nice potting starting to kind of come down here and above here. We're even starting to see a few pods up in this area here. So that means we're moving right along. So we're gonna move into a topic that we get to this time of the year, insects and fungicide. So you can see a little bit of leaf discoloration here. We've probably got a little bit of chemical burn from the Flexstar, but there is still a little bit of disease starting to kind of come on these plants. So this is a great time to fungicide these soybeans because it's a very critical time when it comes to flowering and potting, and we want to make sure that we get on to a good start. You can also see some of these leaves are ripped up pretty good. Some of that has to do with the weather that we've had here the past couple weeks. We've had some rough weather when it comes to wind and hail. If you've watched some of the other videos and stuff, well, it took its toll on the beans too, but it basically just ripped up a lot of the leaves at that point. We're not seeing a lot of damage on the middle part of the stem, so for that, that's a good thing on these plants. But the other area I'm kind of concerned about is to make sure that we're not seeing any feeding. And you can see there's a little bit of feeding on a few of these plants. You can see some holes like that. Mainly the stuff we've seen are a lot of grasshoppers, a lot of loopers, and the occasional Japanese beetle. Japanese beetles are the big metallic green beetles out there. They can ravage a field pretty quickly. In fact, oh, that's crinkled, never mind. They'll leave the veins on the leaves. They don't like the veins, they'll just leave that and kind of like a spider web. But the one that we usually worry about at this time of year is aphids. And so far we haven't seen much for aphids just yet, or any of these fields. We'll kind of keep an eye on it. We want to make sure that the threshold on those are at about 250 per plant. So we don't like to try to shoot or get the product out there before that if we don't have to. But we all know that sometimes that does happen to try to save a trip. So lastly, if we're doing a pass at that point, this is maybe a great time to talk about maybe some micros at that point. This would be a good time to do some tissue sampling to see if there's anything that's a little short on these beans. If we're doing fungicide, we can do a shot of maybe Maxin ZMB if the tissue samples say we're a little short on boron and a little bit short on zinc. It doesn't take long to get that result back. Probably within a few days we can have that information, and we can make those adjustments pretty quickly. So, but for the bean plant, the critical time of the year is coming up. We're getting into close to August, and we always say July makes corn, August makes soybeans. And we're moving right in that direction. If you got any questions about beans, give me or one of the other Northern Country Co-op agronomists a call. We'll talk to you next time.